Hey everyone, it's Marshmallow and welcome back to my channel. Now for today's video, it's another installment of Tea Time. If you can't already tell from my less enthusiastic intro to this video, today's tea time is going to be a bit more serious than my past tea times. Now, I know all my tea times are supposed to be my more serious videos, but for today's topic, it's a bit more heavy, so I thought it'd be inappropriate of me to be super energetic in my intro. Also, new mug for tea time today, you guys. This mug was actually given to me by my really good friend Ashlyn, and Ashlyn, if you're watching this, which you always almost watch my videos, which is so awesome, yeah, cute little surprise for you, and thank you. I love this mug, it's so pretty. Anyways, you guys, so for today's video, I decided to talk about an issue that I've actually been thinking about a lot lately, and that is manipulation. A couple days ago on Twitter, I actually wrote about this topic, and I did like 2 little tweets about it, so here they are. When I was younger, lying was heavily frowned upon. Nowadays, no one gives it a second glance. Shake my head. But this fact sure is fascinating to me, and it is why I am at university. Why can't we all just be decent human beings from time to time? This issue has always been so prevalent with me, but recently it has just come up more in my life and I've been thinking about it more. One part of manipulation, which I just talked about in my tweets, is lying. And lying has always been such a big deal in my family. If you even made so much as a petty lie to either my father, my mother, or my brother, or me, trust would be completely broken. And that is how my family has worked. It is to instill within us that lying is so wrong that if you lie, you have to work your freaking butt off to regain the trust that you once had with that individual. And that is how I've looked at lying for everyone. So whenever someone has lied to me and I found out about it, I would just treat them just like my family has taught me to. Lying just makes you unaware if that person has been lying to you the whole time or not. Which is really true, because when someone lies, you're like, well then what is the truth, you know? I know that lying cannot ever be like undone, and we can never prevent from lying, but in being a decent human being, I think that we should at least refrain from lies that will cause us to gain something. But that's hard. I can't tell you guys not to lie because everyone lies. I even lie. And it can't be completely prevented, which is unfortunate, but that's what comes with human nature, is lying. Another thing that goes in hand with lying and manipulation that I think we need to work on is fakery. And one of the biggest things that gets me about fakery is when people pretend to be someone that they're not, or purposefully be fake just to gain attention from you. I really hate that, because some people will do that, and then either I will find out later who they really are, or they will confront me with who they really are, and then I suddenly had lost all faith in them. Like, if you were a decent human being as yourself, I am almost positive I would interact with you. Now, there are forms of fakery out there that are used as a means to protect oneself, and those forms of fakery, I think, aren't nearly as bad as manipulation. Yeah, it's saving someone from revealing themselves to another person completely, but in that way, they are protecting themselves from potential danger. Like, I get it if someone says that they're fine or that they're okay when they're really not, because they're trying to protect themselves from other people, or because they don't want to tell other people what they're really feeling because they're afraid that opening themselves up to other people will lead them to more hurt and vulnerability. And I get that. But it's the people who will flaunt themselves to be someone who they're completely not, are the people who really tickle my pickle. And speaking of vulnerability, I also think that is a really big topic that I need to talk about in the light of manipulation. Now, if you're like me, I have grown up all my life having one of my biggest fears being the fear of disappointing others and thus failure. And in that fear, I hate it when I mess up for people. And with this fear also comes me putting others before myself. And when suddenly someone becomes upset because of something I did or didn't do, but it was a result of me, it hurts me to see them hurt because of me. And because of that, I don't want to do anything to get that feeling again. And with that means I say yes to a lot of things and no to nothing. And in that, that is a very unwise decision to make, because if you keep saying yes to people, you will soon find yourself overwhelmed, and through that overwhelming, you will either not be able to complete everything you said yes to, or not complete everything you said yes to your fullest capability, therefore upsetting people as well. And in my opinion, that upsets people more so than it would if you just told them no in the first place. Because by saying yes to them, you got them to anticipate that you were going to do this for them. But then when you either don't end up actually doing it, or you don't do it to the way they expected it, suddenly they're even more upset. But if you just told them the truth in the first place that, hey, you know, I can't take this on because I've got so many other people I've already agreed to help, then hey, that's that. And I mean, I know this in work every day. I mean, I do it for a living. I have to do things for people all the time. That's a part of customer service. But recently, you know, more customers have been coming into my store, and I have to turn down some people. Not turn down as in, oh, I can't do this for you. It's like, I can't do this for you right now. But if I get your name and your number, I can complete this for you at the earliest convenience I can. And you know, that's so much better than taking in the order and saying, yes, I'll squeeze you in. Yes, I'll do this for you before the end of the day. Yes, yes, yes. Because then soon I'll find my list is so tall. People continuously are coming in. I don't even have time to work on anything. And then suddenly people get upset, making me upset. And you know, that's the worst thing. And you know, yes, saying no might cause people to get upset. And most often than not, it will. But their upset being because of you saying no is so much better than them being upset because of something you did, in my opinion. And you know, with that overwhelming and saying yes to everything, you are also causing yourself to be more vulnerable and easily manipulated by people. Because as soon as people see you keep saying yes to things, they're going to take that opportunity and abuse it. I like to think of it this way. You're a piece of cookie dough, raw cookie dough. You've been molded and put together, and you've been put in the fridge to set aside. When you're in the fridge, you're nice and firm, you know, you're not easily malleable. You're in one shape, not easily disturbed by the human hands that are gonna craft you. But as soon as you're taken out of that refrigerator ready to be made into a cookie, you feel the heat around you. The heat of the outside world causes you to thaw, to soften. Suddenly the human leaves you alone for too long because you kept saying yes. And when you're left out there for too long, you begin to melt and become very soft, very malleable. And when that human comes back, their hands are going to squeeze into you like you're nothing. Squish you into nothing. Rip you completely apart until you can't take anything else in. And then you're going to be stuck into the oven and melted into this little cookie. And you're going to come out just not the favorite. You're not going to be perfect. You're not going to be the one everyone wants. You're going to be the one that went through it all. And no one's going to want you anymore because you've disappointed them. And that is what vulnerability looks like. But you see, in vulnerability, we need to learn to build that hard exterior. We need to be taken out of the fridge right away. The human hands will try to form you, but you can only be formed into one type of shape. They can't make you into what they want. You can only be formed in the way you're intended to be formed. And so those hands will try and try, but your tough skin from the cool refrigerator will remain firm. You will be rolled into that ball that you're supposed to be, and then stuck in the oven and baked into the proper shape you were meant to be in. You will come out and all the kids will be surrounding you, trying to pick you as the cookie that you want, dip you in milk and eat you right up because you made them happy. And that's what a hard exterior looks like. And with a hard exterior, you're learning to say no. Yes, of course you still say yes to things, but when you anticipate your limit approaching, you learn to say no. And in saying no, you relieve yourself of that tension. Yes, people are gonna get upset, but you're not gonna be hurting yourself. Because all my life I have been told to put others before me, and that is such a good motto to have, a good thing to live by. But as soon as you're putting others before yourself and caring less and less about yourself, you are forgetting who you are as a person and losing yourself. And in some cases, that is okay because you're not being vain or selfish. But in most cases, that's not okay because you are allowing other people to manipulate you too much. So think about yourself, take care of yourself, but don't take care of yourself enough to the point where it becomes vain and selfish. Still put others before you. Still say yes to things. But understand where your limits are and when to say no. Because manipulation is out there and manipulation will happen to you. It just depends on whether you're ready for it or not and if you can handle it or not. Because me, it has been present through my whole life. And I can tell you from experience that starting to build that shell, which I am, that hard exterior, I am becoming a stronger person and I am not being manipulated as much. And it is so awesome to feel that. Because when I was constantly being abused in the manipulation kind of sense, because I kept saying yes to things, I was not happy. And I just did not care about myself at all. I only cared about those around me. And that was not a healthy motto to live by. So I know with this video, I cannot tell you guys to stop lying, I cannot make you guys stop being manipulative, and I cannot stop you guys from being fake or force you guys to build that hard exterior. Lying's gonna happen. Manipulation's gonna happen. Vulnerability's gonna occur. You're going to be fake sometimes. That is what a human being is. But what I can encourage you to be is to make yourself into a decent human being. And with that, it's to think before you lie. Think before you act fake. Learn when to say no, and to not allow people to easily manipulate you, and don't be the manipulator. Know when you're doing stuff for your own personal gain in the wrong way, and know when to do things for others in the right way. I hope you guys liked this tea time. I know it was a little more serious and a little more spoken at you, but it's just been something that has been so present in my mind lately that I felt like I just had to get it out, you know? But I just highly encourage you guys to be thoughtful and to think about what I just talked about, because manipulation is out there and it's always going to be. And you know, if we want to overcome it, that is the first way to go. I don't have a PhD in psychology and I don't have a PhD in human society, so I can't speak from wise words, but I can speak from experience. Anyways, you guys, that is all I have for today's video. If you liked it, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye! Wow, those signs are close.